this is Crystal, and I am a family support coordinator from Connecticut Family Support Network. And I am here with my second interview for our series on autism for CTFSN. And I am here today with Deb. Deb has 2 children on the autism spectrum. How are you doing, Deb?
Good. How are you?
Good. So I was wondering, could you just tell me a little bit about each of your kids? You can, go back and forth or however you want to do that is fine.
Okay. I have 2 girls, as you said. Faith is 13, is on the spectrum with ADHD and dysgraphia, which is tough for her to handwrite. And then Hope is 4, going to be 5 in July. She's currently pre-verbal, which means we hear some sounds, we've got some words, we've got some signs, but she definitely gets her point across.
That is wonderful. And I love how you use the term pre-verbal as well. I know there's some confusion sometimes between non-speaking and non-verbal, and I just love that you use the term pre-verbal. And I also love that I believe that the last time I spoke to you, she wasn't using any of those types of things. So that's progress.
We actually, since she started preschool through the school system, and the amount that we have heard has increased. The want to interact has increased. The want to make herself known has increased. And it seems like she's actually learned how to jump with 2 feet off the ground. And with that developmental milestone, it seems to have clicked some other stuff, and we're just hearing so much more than when we last talked.
That is wonderful. And actually, that was going to be one of my questions. Could you actually go into a little bit more depth about how each one of them communicates? And even if you could kind of talk a little bit about the differences in their communication levels.
Okay. Faith is very, very, very verbal. With her, it comes, you'll see the autism more in the social interaction, she doesn't script, but she does like to talk about stuff that she likes, and she has the trouble switching the topics or asking you how you are, but she can tell you paragraphs about how something was made. And that's been, she really didn't talk until she was about 3.5, 4. And we kind of skipped the babbling with her and went straight to like full sentences, which has been Faith her whole life. And with Hope, she is pre-verbal. She was a preemie. She started out really not talking, not wanting to talk, not caring. And through the birth to 3, through the preschool, getting those early intervention services, we are hearing more, having her interact more. Her main mode of communication is still pointing and trying to verbalize, making sounds, grabbing you and pulling you over. What has come out lately, though, is her yes, no. So if you think you understand what she's saying but you don't, she will tell you no, and she'll try again. And so, we say Hope communicates in hope. Hope just does herself, and we're good.
That's awesome too. And there's a lot of communicative intent and all the things that you're talking about. Even in scripting, I believe that they've come to the understanding that which we should probably say what scripting is, which basically is the repetitive use of language. And they've come to understand that even that has a lot of oh my goodness, my language is communicative intent behind it, even though it looks like it might be that it's just something that is happening
Right.
repetitively, but there might actually be something else behind it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
how do they, I'm interested to hear, how do they talk to each other? How do they get their points across to each other?
That has been the struggle. For as brilliant as Faith is, she doesn't read non-verbal cues well. And with Hope being not still pre-verbal, it's been a lot of me translating for both of them. But they are getting to the point now, because she is getting slightly more verbal, slightly more words, that they can go off and play without needing the constant watching or the constant interaction with me. So it's nice that
So it's becoming less prompted. That's awesome. That's wonderful.
it is. And they're going from having to be prompted to actually being sisters.
Awesome. Oh, that must be so beautiful to watch.
It is.
So can you tell me a little bit about, you can go individually, but about each one of their interests?
Well, Faith is very creative, very artistic, very imaginative. So she loves to write, to draw, to she also likes video games, and is very talented in just being creative.
Do you see a lot of communication behind even the drawing? Does she try to
Yes.
yeah, I thought, yeah.
We have figured out a lot of stuff through her drawing, because even though, yes, she is verbal, there's still some struggles there. And with the communication or with the stories that she writes, one of my best favorite memories was when she was younger and still struggling to communicate. She would come home from school, and if she had a bad day, she would tell me that there was a circus in her school. And it took me a while, a lot of communication with the teacher, but that was her way of saying I had a bad day.
Yeah.
I was
that's
dysregulated. So each of the girls, and with Hope, right now she's a mommy's girl. So she is enjoying just being with me, being near me, doing what I do.
That's awesome.
But she also is very adventurous, very inquisitive, very, let me try it. If I do something, she's got to do it. By watching me do the laundry, she has figured out at the age of 4 how to turn on the dryer for me.
That's great. Now, well, imitation is the greatest form of learning, they say. So that's awesome.
But now we have to watch, make sure.
Yeah, she goes to do it on her own. Feels like doing some laundry, so she goes off by herself, right?
Yeah. But Hope just loves everyone, everything. And so she just loves being Hope.
Oh, see, that's beautiful. Does your other daughter Faith, does any of her drawings, do you ever think of putting them in any of the art programs or anything like that? I know they have a lot of showcases they do.
She has had a piece of artwork shown at the Beardsley Zoo.
Great.
And creative arts workshop in New Haven. She actually did a summer week there. And so at the end, they had another little showing. But other than that, no, we haven't.
That's wonderful. Maybe as she progresses along the way, it might be an interest of hers that she wants to move forward with.
Yeah, she does. She says she wants to write a book. So we're working on it, trying to encourage her to write stuff down. And or type, because typing is easier for her.
Mm-hmm.
And we're working slowly with that. And, you know, who knows? Maybe I have a writer.
Yeah, that's for sure. And, you know, also getting that expression out, whether it's through art or some other way, I think is also very emotionally helpful, you know, to the kids. So
we've
awesome.
Also, to go along with that, like the arts, Faith has had music therapy since she was, I want to say 6. And just having that outlet, and Hope has had music therapy, just not as consistently.
Mm-hmm.
But both of my girls have shown, you know, through the singing, through the music, the ability to communicate, the ability to figure out stuff. You know, Faith was having one of the days, Faith was, didn't come home right away. So I ended up calling the bus company, scared, because I know Faith, once she is in a situation she doesn't like, she can shut down. And finally got her home, and I was like, are you okay? Expecting her to be dysregulated, not herself. And she goes, oh, I'm fine. I sang to myself.
Wow.
That to me was like,
coping skill. That's awesome that she uses that tool.
She's using it. And it was through music that we finally started hearing some vocalizations through Hope. And even just the separation from mom went easier with the music. So there's a lot to be said about that connection.
Well, that area of the brain is specifically strong in a lot of our kids. I know even with my son, who is a minimal speaker, so he has minimal verbal output. Even though he cannot produce words that way, he can sing full songs. So he remembers full songs, and if you ask them to sing them back to you, he will sing them to you.
Yeah.
Which I just find absolutely fascinating. It's just amazing what music can do.
It is. And that's why we make such a point of exposing both girls to music, to art, to dance, to movement, to so they have that outlet and that tool on the tool belt. Does
Hope have a specialized interest or an interest that she really likes to do?
Right now it's a lot of just drawing, but we'll see. She likes to paint. She likes to, you know, if I'm sewing, she likes to try to sew.
Well, it's so great that she takes that model from you, that you can just introduce her to so many different things.
Yes. So she has helped me sew. She's helped me paint and pick out colors. And it's just been that way of her and I bonding, connecting, but also her getting that real life experience.
Awesome. That's wonderful. How about out in the community? I know you talked a little bit about them taking some music classes, but what other activities do they enjoy out in the community?
We are active in our church. So both girls are fully integrated into the youth program there.
Great.
Where they, you know, we've done some training with the youth leaders, but other than that, They both say, bye, Mom, and go. Especially Hope. It's
Isn't that beautiful to see, though, that you know, they're enjoying it so much?
Oh, and it's such a relief.
Mhm.
For me as a parent, that yes, they are enjoying it, but they also have the adult support there who enjoy being with them.
That is so, yeah, that's so important. And you're likely to see so much social growth and so much more social interaction that way. So that's wonderful.
Yes. And we've seen it a lot with Hope. Just now, instead of just being there, she is saying hi, because she has hi to all the kids, all the kids, the teachers. She has her seat. And so she goes and she sits in her seat. Like she just has flourished with
Great.
everything. We also do a lot of going to the playgrounds, going to the parks, or to walk, not only physically for Hope, because she does have some muscle weakness also, but just to get out and experience, okay, someone's walking towards me. What do I do? And before COVID and everything closing, we were at the library and doing their programs every week, because it gives them that experience.
Mm-hmm. Community
and
out. Yeah, absolutely.
To be out, to be,
and even exercise in general. I believe there's been a lot of research done on exercise and the ability to help with focus and
right.
attention. So that's great.
And that we've seen it a lot with Faith, more because of the ADHD.
Mm-hmm.
That the days we get her moving and we get her out, she's closer to being tired than when we don't.
Mm-hmm.
Hope gets tired easily because of her muscles just being tired. But both of the girls get so much out of being out, being social, wanting that connection.
Oh my goodness, my son, I always say that he was born to a family of couch potatoes, and he was more, because we're all couch potatoes, and my son loves to be out. He never tires. He loves to go out and take lots of long walks, and it's just amazing to me. So tell me a little bit too about, what do you think for each of them, what positive things have they brought to you in your life?
I know for me, personally, it's been the ability to speak up, the ability to go, okay, this is not working.
Advocacy.
Let's figure out who we need.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I was always outgoing, but now I'm outgoing for a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
I am being that advocate, that voice for them.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's given me a new outlook. But also, when we come across the kids who, like your son, are more affected, I'm using that as a teaching tool for my girls.
Mm-hmm.
You make sure you say hello. You make sure you go up to them. And, just even smiling. That even though they may not.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, because one of the biggest things that we talk about constantly is my son, again, who is very minimally verbal. I think that sometimes the assumption is when you come across a minimally verbal person that they are unable to communicate or be communicated with, which is the complete and utter opposite, because he very much understands basically most of what's going on around him. So I always encourage people to come right up to and just speak directly to him, and he will respond to you in whatever way that he feels comfortable doing.
And that's a lot of what I've had to do with Hope too is I've actually had to learn how to step back and let her communicate how she can communicate.
Exactly.
And have people communicate with her, not just with me about her. And you'd be amazed at how many people just want to communicate with me. And I'm like, no, she's capable of communicating. You need to take the time. And I think that's been the biggest.
I think that's a good message, though, is to let people know that, you know, when you come across our guys is, you know, use that moment to speak directly to them, you know, to talk directly to them. Even if there is not a response in the way that you might be used to, they will respond to you in the way that, you know, is comfortable for them. So I think that's a great message.
Yes, and that's my biggest thing I've learned with both of the girls is they're not going to communicate how I think they are, but they are active member. They are communicating, they are participating. And it's giving myself that patience to step back and let them be them. And so that's been, I guess, really positive.
Great.
And not only when we've had our rough patches, I've always said, you know, if what I've gone through can help someone else, I'm going to tell my story.
Great.
And the ability to tell others that, yes, it's tough right now, but there are positive things has been amazing, has been fun, has been, sorry, there is.
Oh, no, you heard my phone ringing before, so that's perfectly fine. And I totally get what you're saying, because I say the same thing about my son. He has taught me more than any one person could possibly teach me in my lifetime. He's taught unconditional love from all points.
Yes.
He's taught me how to really focus on the person as an individual, to be able to communicate effectively with them. He's taught me that social interaction occurs on many different levels. I mean, I could go on and on and on, but most of all, he's taught me how to respect each individual exactly how they are.
Yes, and that's been a big, huge takeaway for me too. You know, I work in the childcare field, and you know, when I'm working with the other kids, I pause and go, would I want someone like me speaking to my child like that, or to? So it's affected my whole life, but it's given me a better outlook.
That's awesome.
It's such a learning experience.
So if you had some thoughts on how can somebody, or whether it be programming, whether it be out recreational, or even in the social arena, how do you think your kids could be supported a little bit better?
Patience. Patience to, you know, realize that, yes, they will respond to you, but they're going to respond to you in a way that you may not expect, and that's okay.
Exactly.
Patience and acceptance, patience for them to respond.
Awesome. I would 100% agree with you. So just to finish up, if you had one thing that you would love the world to know about each of your girls, what would that be?
That's tough. One thing, their love. They if they don't, my girls will teach you how to love, that unconditional love, the ability to be yourself and to accept that.
That's awesome.
And yeah.
And be loved for exactly who you are. I love that. Well, thank you, Deb. And I really do appreciate you taking the time to talk to me about your girls. And I really enjoyed the experience.
Yes.